With the UK seeing its first Labour government in 14 years, voters are shifting their stance. Karisma Putera Abdul Rahman from Bait Al Amanah shares what the results indicate about the current political climate in the UK.
5 key points. The first of which is a clear preference for the UK's voters and their preference for the austerity measures to end. I think that they're very much frustrated with the austerity under Conservative rule, and they would like to see a change and pivot from that. And building on to my second point, and that is voters are feeling very much frustrated over the poor trajectory of how the Tory administrations have been going since 2010. And to add to that, there's another point that the thin majority in certain seats that we see, such as Naz Shah's Bradford West constituency versus independent candidates who had perhaps stronger Gaza stances, could mean an increase in foreign affairs interests within the public. If we could pivot a bit to Scotland, Labour is actually did not gain seats in the eastern coast of Scotland versus its much stronger gains in the south of Scotland. And this could be because of renewed interest or persistent interest in the population towards the North Sea drilling operations. So the political climate could see much more discussions over North Sea oil and gas and how this may contrast with Labour's clean energy policies. So that's something that could be a point of contention in the current political climate. And finally, one more point to make is that Labour did not fully achieve its goal of attracting left-leaning Tories who instead voted for the Lib Dems. So we can see that the political climate is also experiencing many voters reconsidering their political stances, perhaps. So this could mean a new wave in how voters act and vote in future elections as well.
In the last few hours, congratulations have been pouring in from world leaders on Keir Starmer's win. Karisma outlines Starmer's key priorities as he takes the helm at 10 Downing Street.
It kind of correlates with the list of issues that voters are concerned about. And so the first one is to deliver economic stability. I think stability is something that the UK is craving, especially after the tumultuous period concerning many PMs in a very short period of time. So Sir Keir Starmer will be looking to deliver economic stability with tough spending rules so they can grow their economy and to keep taxes, inflation, and mortgages as low as possible. And so the second task for Sir Keir Starmer and his Labour government is, of course, to try and target the NHS. And a lot of what's been said is to reduce the backlog of appointments by increasing the number of appointments each week by 40,000. So they are mentioning that they will crack down on tax avoidance and certain tax loopholes to fund this. Number 3 is to touch on immigration, which is of course a very hot topic in the UK, of course, and they are taking a different stance compared to the Tories, who would, if they were remaining in power, perhaps continue the Rwanda scheme. But with Labour now taking charge, they are interested in launching a new border security command. So this is a much softer approach, which may not necessarily be any less effective, but in my view, it's a more holistic approach to this. So that's also something that Sir Keir Starmer will be looking to focus on.
However, Karisma noted that Labour's landslide victory comes with high expectations for Starmer to perform and keep his word.
And so overall, with this in mind, Starmer is kind of trying to attempt to address the central pain points of his voter base, and they're really much trying to focus on domestic change before considering broader agendas, essentially a country-first strategy. And with so much political currency and a huge landslide win, everyone is holding Sir Keir Starmer to a very high standard. And people voted Labour. There's a certain assumption between this analyst circle that people voted Labour to kick the Tories out rather than directly for their policies. So this means that people do hold him to a high standard, but they could be more patient as everyone knows he has to undo 14 years of disappointing Conservative performance.